Well, streaming. I must control the vertical streaming output from the ATM multi-stream setting. Change output setting is disabled here. Okay, so I go to the Atrium multi-stream, main canvas, Twitch output. Yes, I want to start the stream. Did that start the stream? Hmm. Oh, something's happening. I am streaming. Okay. So, I am streaming to Twitch. Okay. So, I think I'm ready. So let's try this. Check to make sure I got sound. Doing a test here. Testing. Okay, so I have sound here. Why don't I have sound on the vertical sources? Where is my vertical source? Sources. Man, I tell you, this stuff is killing me. Anyways, so the vertical source. The whole thing with the Satoshi, uh, the Bitcoin guy, audio. So the whole deal, okay, let me try to figure this out, guys. Microphone RPG RX, okay. Okay, I think that's doing that. Alright, guys. Bear with me. It's just going to take a second. Let's go to browser. Where the heck is the speaker? Speaker. That's my speaker. Why don't I have feed out to the Twitch? Why can't Twitch hear me? So Twitch is, I'm going to need an audio source. So let's do an audio source. Vertical sources, controls, auxiliary mic, properties. I want to use webcam. Okay, let's try that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Audio output. Okay, so it says that the webcam is unique. Everything looks good. Why can't the auxiliary audio be rig? Okay, try that. Okay. I still can't tell if I can't tell if we got audio or not. Okay. Testing, testing, testing. We're going to call this a test. Okay, vertical sources, vertical source audio. Streaming. Okay, I must use multi-stream output to change outputs. Setting is disabled here, so I need to go to Atrium. Docs, Atrium, multi-stream. Vertical outputs, vertical canvas, add outputs. Okay. Does absolutely nothing. Audio settings, audio track, audio. All right. All right, I'm going to shut this down. Okay, well, I guess that's it. So, yeah. So unless I get my the Twitch and the YouTube thing, I'll have to do it YouTube only. It's okay. We're going to live with that. So the whole deal with this is Satoshi Nakamoto. Everybody knows him as the Bitcoin guy. At least that's how I know him. So, um, all right. We are gonna Sato. YouTube is good sound. Yeah, like you're hearing a whirring in the background. Whatever you did, it's gone. Yeah. So I think something with my setup app just doesn't work. So my co-pilot's here. I got rid of Twitch. We're going to take a look at the world's richest man. So, with no further ado, let's look at Satoshi as a young man or woman. Location, an old man. Location. So we're going to look at these two things. It's 8:36. It's October 11th. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to look at the life and times of Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know anything about him. I don't know what he does. I'm going to assume that he's a programmer of the highest caliber and or just your average genius. Yeah, and my co-pilot just made a. Yeah, you go grab that pizza. Um, my co-pilot just made a suggestion. He said I need to figure this is can be possibly more than one person, and I'm sure it's a group of people. Most geniuses that I know are a combination of um, the main genius and then a bunch of secondary people who work with and or around the main genius. So let's say Satoshi sat in a cubicle and made this all himself, but the deal is he relied on or had help with many ideas. Just like Albert Einstein had his drinking buddies down at the pub who would get him schnockered and help him explore the universe. So we don't know if Einstein came up with all the ideas or he did come up with the ideas but had help getting to that stage. So that would be the other thought would be to see if there were people in this guy's life that are known and can be drawn upon to, you know, or you were there in the beginning. What was it like? And what are we dealing with here? Are we dealing with a group? So my goal on Satoshi Nakamoto is more of a experimental thing. I want to see what I can. It's like when I did Musk. I mean, he's a simple guy. He has set of rules. He has um, this general feel of how his day is going to go and what his expectations are for everything. It's almost like it's kind of a wild look into an average person's life. Um, he puts pants on just like everybody else. His socks are funny, I mean, and it's his personal style. Um, so the possibility of Satoshi Nakamoto being multiple people is very high. Was it a group? So in the beginning, there was a mad rush to develop this token and put it out there. They had this initial core group of people that came up with the idea. The core group talked to the investors who then started, doing the contests, the promotions, building up Bitcore. The people who saw the value for Bitcore. So you initially started with the idea. So here's the Bitcoin idea. Okay, this is a small group of people, beer drinking people who enjoyed kicking around ideas. Satoshi Nakamoto was part of a group, or the group was Satoshi Nakamoto, uh, drinking beer and kicking this around. This idea is not one idea. This is a multi-pronged idea. So it relied on making the coin itself, the the code, the use, the financial um, means, and how it ties into needs. Okay, so Bitcoin code, how it was designed, isn't a big deal. Well, it is a very big deal. So basically, it's here's a coin where it has an inherent code, and there's only one code for this. Every time it goes somewhere, it's a documented record that will always be there. So you can basically track everything about this coin, almost back to where it's, starting point. Well, probably not that far, but you get my drift. That's the basic concept for that. Supposedly, you can track it from wallet to wallet by means of transactions. Of course, the transaction list is huge because there's so many transactions on any given second for the average coin. I mean, um, I know I deal with a lot of digital coin, and I really like the Stellar Lab coins. I'm a big fan of Stellar because of the cost, ease of use. They were part of, I think, Ripple, and they broke away. So Satoshi, so when he started back in the day, I had a chance to buy, I think it was a Bitcoin for $500. So that's when I became aware of Bitcoin. I heard about it in the beginning, how it was like dirt cheap. Somebody was trying to give away 10,000 for a pizza. And then I also heard about the contest where you could mine. And I always wanted to mine a Bitcoin because back in the day it was fairly easy to do that. Um, I was this close to buying a Bitcoin when it was 500. I didn't do that. As you can see, I'm dirt poor. I have no Bitcoins. My Stellar Lab experiment has gotten me a little bit of gain. I've actually gotten a lot off of the money that was given to me or the money that I put into it. I think I put in 400 and I was given 400 by a very good friend. And that $800 is turned around to, I think output was 820. So I'm $20 ahead. Doing good. Anyways, back to the initial group. So the young man and the location of the group. So I don't know where Bitcoin started at, but for whatever reason, I got a pretty clear picture of Frisco. And I'm thinking Frisco is either one of the characters or several of the people from the original group was Frisco. Now, it may not have been Frisco, but the weather's shit. It's cold. It's moist. Um, I don't know where the initial thing was, but it looks like Frisco. If it was any other area other than Frisco, because I know Frisco pretty good, uh, it would be pretty noticeable. Frisco has got, when the fog rolls in, it just absolutely sucks, and that fog coats everything. So they're a group. The location seems to be Frisco. Now the other thing is I'm pretty sure that up here towards Seattle in the Redmond area, there was a group working on this as well. So I'm thinking, so you had Frisco here, and you had Seattle here. So this group had ties to both these locations. I think Gates was working on the Windows project. These college kids were working on the Bitcoin concept, but there's communication between the two. I'm kind of wondering if Bill Gates doesn't know who the group is that initially started that, or even the actual. Because I keep seeing a closet. I see a door. So there's a door, okay, and a hallway. So, and it feels like a communal area. All right. So this is the initial place. So wherever this is, it's got wood grain paneling. dark. It's got a college feel. It's got a dorm room feel. And I hate to say it, but it kind of stinks. And I don't know if you guys have been ever around really, really smart people that they are very, a lot of them are very focused. And, you know, if they do things differently. But I can't place a stink. I don't know what the smell is. Is it spilled beer? Is it? It's just got an odor. You know, I stink bad at the end of the day, but this has got just a taint, and I don't know what it is. But imagine a bunch of people living off Dorito chips and Mountain Dew, playing Doom, and you know, doing LAN parties. I mean, let's see, that was back in 2000, 2001, 2002. Is that too early? I don't know. It might have been the 19s when that might be way too early, but the 2000s is when it really started taking off. So the 90s to 2001, I think, is the start. I don't know for sure. I'll have to check this on Wikipedia. Maybe I'll pull Wikipedia up. All right. But this younger location that feels like Frisco, it's a cold, damp area. There's like a coastal fog. It's a city feel, like a college feel. Um, and where he's at has a taint and a hallway with a room. And I don't know why that's important yet. I guess I'll figure that out later. So, okay. So my co-pilot is 4 minutes behind. We are good to go. For those who don't know, I have a task manager. The task manager, his responsibility is to keep me focused. So he's gonna suggest I look in a particular direction, and it's his job to kind of keep me on track. Now, he knows that the task is Satoshi Nakamoto, and I'm looking for locations. Now, you know, I don't know if he knows more than me or less than me. It doesn't matter because his job isn't to worry about the target. His job is to worry about keeping me focused because I tend to veer. So his job is most important. Okay. I don't know what that smell is, man. It's bad. Um, so okay, that's cool. So it does feel like a group in the beginning, the group that co-founded Bitcoin, and it's definitely more than one. There was one, there might have been one principal player who was looking at the coding and all this stuff, but it was a group of people who fine-tuned it into what it is today. So that's really cool. Now, let me take a picture of this. Satoshi Nakamoto. And so you guys, just so you realize, when I'm sitting here talking to myself and repeating stuff, it it really helps in bringing more data out. So I'm not repeating it for you guys. I'm repeating it to kind of hammer home what part of the target I'm looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for an old man location. So now he's old. He's 25 years older, which should put him about, God, I want to say his 50s. All right. So he's a lot younger than me, but he's still an old man. He's in his 50s. And let me tell you, when I hit my 50s, it was pretty damn traumatic. I was really surprised. Okay. Let's see if we can zoom in on the board just a little bit. Yeah, much better. Oh yeah. Okay. So, look at that lovely jar of blackberry juice that fermented into vinegar. I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. I wish I could share it. Okay. So we're looking for an old man. Well, let's look for old men. So I crafted a coin. I have a Screaming into the Night coin. My idea is to take the coin and give it out as rewards for doing particular tasks. So I was going to take it, put it on my Discord, and make it as part of a, hey, look, you did a great job. Here's this coin, you know, and then use it as a coin that shows value. And maybe make it so that, hey, if you wanted a remote view or an aura, you have to have one of these coins. You either have to buy it on the open market, or I can give you one, and you would get a, you know, a view, and give it a monetary value. Whatever the cost of a remote view is, then that's what it would be worth. And right now, I'm working with somebody who actually is looking at a target for me. This is a target that I want him to look at, and I'm actually paying him to do this. So it's an actual thing. I mean, it would be great if I could pay him in my coin, because I have a stash of my coin. So these guys did the same thing. They have a small stash each of these coins. Now, I don't think it's a world-shattering amount. Back in the day, they were dealing with, a couple million coins each. So now it's down to, I think it's down to like 10,000. So I'm assuming they've got about 10,000 coins each, or give or take. So the small group that started has, one of them's gone. He has no more. He sold them all. Okay, so let's write this down. So of the group, the original group. So one sold all. A couple have 10K or more. And then one has many. And many is kind of a weird term. It's kind of, so the ones that have 10K, and I think that's like 8K to 12K, in that range. And there's a couple of them that have the 8 to 12K, and they're kind of like holding on to them for whatever reason. They're doling them out as needed. And they sold a lot back when it was hit 60, and they're kicking themselves now that it hit 120. But I mean, 60K for a coin that used to cost pennies on the dollar. That's a pretty good deal. All right, so they're still billionaires many times over. Where are they? So they are all over the world. This original group is now all over the world. I'm seeing sand and sea for one. So one has a view of the ocean. It's warm, big house, white glass everywhere. Private beach. I don't know where this is at. Not Hawaii. I can't quite, I, I don't do geolocate very well, so the indicators are it's probably somewhere on a lesser island of in the Philippines or in the there's kind of like this arc of islands that you can go to and can't go to. I didn't know that before, but there's this arc of places. This feels like a main island rather than a secondary island, but it's a main island that has a lot of commerce. So he's able to freely go about without being recognized. And because of the people there, he seems to fit in. It's kind of like a richer group. So everything's very low key. The house is very nice. It's not totally exorbitant. The beach view is very nice, but it's not totally unreal. So one person is sand and sea. One person doesn't live in one house. He has many houses. So he went from a scrawny person to bearded, bulky, kind of like a big bear. So he went from a scrawny kid to a larger, looks like kind of like a ranch. One area looks like a ranch, right? So he's got a ranch somewhere in northern states, probably Colorado or Wyoming. And then he's got a warmer area down in yeah, it's not Florida. It almost looks like Nevada or maybe Palm Springs, somewhere down there. Let's see, what do we got? California, New Mexico. Could be New Mexico. New Mexico. Arizona. He's somewhere near Roswell. What is that? That's New Mexico. Okay. So he's within he's fairly close to Roswell. So up north and down south, he's got two houses, maybe three or four. He goes to he goes to island places, but he actually has homes. So instead of one singular, he's got several places he goes to. He's got people working underneath him. So he's got a lot of money. He's actually done pretty good for himself. That's one, two, three. Three didn't do. So the third didn't do so good. He's moderately well off. Divorced. Problem children. Or child. I don't know. Problem child. Um, law issues. Drug issues. Okay. So one of them didn't do so good. He's still moderately wealthy. Just shit's not shit's not going so good for him. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many do we got? So I'm thinking the initial group was probably 6. Out of that 6, one of them is probably the what you would call the satoshi. I think one of them would be considered the guy who everybody's looking for. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get back to my co-pilot here. And Copilot says, I wonder if the name is from parts of multiple people's names. Well, it could be. Um, So the big bear guy would be called Tosh or something because he's about as American as you can get. Um, I can't, I wouldn't know how to tear this up into like a multiple part for the six people. And how many people would this be a combination of? Would it be the four main people? Would it be the two secondary people? Because two of them are like a secondaries. They're kind of like after the facts. The initial stuff's been done. These two were brought in, or maybe these two were brought in early and then let go, or pushed out. I mean, I don't know. Is this person an individual or a group? That's the question. So now, I guess what I can do. Let me let me think about this. So if it's a group, then when I do the, you see that? Now let's do this. Okay. Satoshi Nakamoto. So is this just a lone guy who built this himself, or is this a group of people who split the name up to resemble somebody that is nothing like them, uh, because that name doesn't feel like the people I just described. Um, well, I'll tell you what. If this is a lone individual and he's out there and he's watching this, just let him. I want you to know all I ask for is one Bitcoin. That's all I need. Won't ask for anything else. If you want to send me a Bitcoin, I would be very happy with that. Until then, I will take a look at you. So now the question is, if it's an individual, I should be able to do an or a view, and an actual. I should be able to draw the aspects of this person. You know, male, female, what they look like now. So if I was going to do a crime lab report on this guy, um, I would have a really good feel for what he looked like. So let's take a look at this Satoshi Nakamoto. So I got kind of a side profile. Currently he's wearing a scarf or something around his throat, kind of like a something to keep his neck, something to keep his neck warm. He's smiling and laughing, smiling, laughing. The lights, very relaxing. atmosphere. What time is it? God, 9:07. It feels like he's actually, I don't know if this is now or if this is earlier, but for whatever reason it feels like this guy went out to a nice place to eat and mingled, or at least was in the room with other people. I don't know if he's with somebody, but he's comfortable. He's atmosphere. Ambient noise. All right. Now the thing is there's people there, right? So these people are, but I don't know if they're talking to themselves or talking to. But again, I don't know. I don't see the connection he has with anybody. It's not like he's there with somebody. He's smiling and laughing, but he's not connected to the person he's smiling and laughing at. It's like he's enjoying himself, but he's enjoying himself alone. So this one person who is associated with this name is laughing and talking, smiling, laughing and talking in a very relaxed environment. It's like he's chatting with somebody. He's talking to somebody about something remarkably. And she feels pretty. She feels comfortable. So she feels like she's comfortable with who she is and what she is, and she's not not trying to impress him. She's not trying to, you win him over with something. It's not a competition. No competition. Just comfortable. So either this is his date, which is highly possible, or his wife, which is again highly possible, and this is the group of people who started it all getting together, which is possible. But this guy, who is very prominent, is laughing and talking with a woman who is sure. She's sure of something. I wish my pictures, they really don't come through today. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. There we go. So you can't see the girl very well. I wonder what color her dress is. Her dress is kind of a peach color. So let's throw a little peach in there. And what's he wearing? He's wearing, this neck thing is really killing me because it's like, it to me it's like the old-fashioned, it's like an old-fashioned scarf that you used to see around like at Christmas time. It's a red and white scarf. Red and white. So it's this red and white kind of like scarf thing that is wrapped around. So I don't know if he's cold or if this just keeps him why would you wear a scarf? I mean, fashion-wise, I would be dying because it would be too hot. So I have no idea why you would wear a scarf. Um, Interesting. So the nice lady he's talking to, I don't know if you can see it. Her dress is kind of like this peach color. These people are wearing. Um, this one's kind of. He's wearing a darker, almost like a suit, and she's wearing this white. She smells really. She smells really good. I don't know what that smell is, but it smells really good. So this lady smells really good. Um, her she has a very low key, not assuming scent. She has a much louder yet very familiar smell, and I'm damned if I can remember what it's called. It smells really good. Okay. Here I am sniffing some other women in a restaurant. My wife would be so jealous. Um, Anything else about this place? So again, we're down to is it one guy or is it a group? Is Satoshi Nakamoto one guy? And why Satoshi Nakamoto? Because that feels like an Asian name, but this guy doesn't feel Asian. He feels this guy. He might be part Asian, but he feels combination European and possibly Asian. Um, I don't know. See, I don't know if this is the lead guy. I don't know if this is the actual person that's referred to as Set. So, very comfortable in his own skin. He has this list of, he has a list of this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. Um, And then he has this escape list. When this list goes to hell in a handbasket, then this is where we go to and go from here. So regardless of what happens, he still makes out with a degree of certainty that everything to this point keeps flowing. Um, the European descent, he does have a touch of uh, he's got a it almost feels like a Russian English. That's interesting. Is he Asian or is he European? Where does this guy live? Is this guy the rancher? Is this guy the guy that lives in the modest house that has a view? Who is this? This is what I don't see. So these are the qualities I don't see. I don't see boasting, bragging. I don't see any posturing. I see he's comfortable with who he is. Very quiet, very quiet. I mean, he's matchmaker quiet. Um, Touch paranoid for good reason. Heavily monitored. So whoever he is seems to have a following. So the people that are following him are, I think it's our government, European government. I mean, he's like everybody's favorite, and it's not just him. So the group of them are under the scope of everybody, and they're all watching. I think they're watching to see if they're going to dump onto the open market the coin. I think that's what the fear is dumping a bunch of the coins onto the open market, which, the market will survive. But this European guy, is he Satoshi Nakamoto? Is it the big bear guy? Is it the guy that had the drug issue and the failed marriage? Is it the one with the big white car living comfortably in, what is it, Milan? Is that Turkey? It's a warm country. It's a warm country with close to the ocean and or on an island. So one of them is, I don't know where Milan is. I'm assuming it's over in that particular region. I know it's where rich people go to, and it's very warm, and the ocean's supposed to be beautiful. But I mean, is that a place to go to? Is there like outskirts of that? Um, I don't know. The funny thing is after seeing the people that are following this guy, and the people that are well aware of who he is and where he's from and where he's going, it does kind of amaze me. Check if scarf is a fashion choice more than a warm. Well, see, but that's what I'm looking at. So it's like, why are you wearing the scarf? Right. So I actually asked him why he's wearing the scarf. And the scarf was because at this point it is a nice thing to have. So he wears a scarf because it actually provides him comfort. Now, is it providing him warmth because it's cool outside, or is it providing him comfort because of the weight? It's kind of like a. Uh, I used to wear a jacket when I was in my high school. It's 90 degrees. I smelled like living ass, but I always had my jacket on. Very insecure. Now, is it an insecurity issue or is it an actual health issue? Does he have like, eating too much rich food and he's got sluggish blood? I mean, or is it a comfort thing, like a security blanket? And to me, it feels like a combination security blanket and it feels like comfort because this feels like it's at this particular time with the air chill. It feels like it would be something you'd wear. I mean, you wouldn't wear it on an island, so I'm assuming that wherever this is here in the States or in an area that's not in the tropical region where you're either sweating or dying. I mean, it's a little bit north of, it's north of the central region, which could be, you know, U.S., parts of the United Kingdoms. There's like this small swath of places that he could be. Weather and environment are really playing a factor here just because of how cool it is at at that time of night. So it really puts a limit on why he's there, and it also gives a reason for why he has this necklace. While it's not, for me, I'd be dying. So yeah, the scarf is a choice, and I think it's both for comfort and for warmth. All right, what else? You know, I guess the next step would be to look to see if what's the long-term plans of this guy? I mean, is he going to do something more with the coin? Was there? I think a lot of the progress halted due to not an issue with the coin. I think a lot of the progress was halted because of the restrictions placed on the opportunities being made available. So I think one of them realized that there's going to be a lot more scammers and slammers out there than are let on. Now, I don't think these guys are scammers and slammers. I think that between the bad guys that surround them and the governments that want to shut them down, you know, they have to get this coin out through the government's regulations. You have many governments that accepted it, like I think it was Argentina and oh God, was it Peru or Brazil? One of the South American countries, you know, use it as part of their funding for their government. And they, at this point, if they sell, they're going to make a lot of money. But I think they were literally probably told not to pursue certain avenues by individuals with clearances from three-letter three-letter organizations. Very nice people, wonderful to work with, small requests with, you know, big consequences. So um, I think that might have had a lot to do with it. So it'd be interesting to see. I'd like to know why there's such scrutiny from Russia and Israel and France. Why France? What does France have to do with this, and why are they looking into it? The French government have something going on where they're looking for some sort of information on this, and I don't know what it is. I will never be able to understand the government in all its wisdom and glory. That's for you guys. Um, so I initially started out to look at the location and the person who is Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, I don't know if this is Satoshi Nakamoto. I do know that this is a very important person relating to Satoshi Nakamoto. And he's in kind of a mid to northern latitude. And he's wearing the scarf at this nice event with this nice lady. This nice lady is intelligent and kind of like a teacher. She's kind of like she talks. She's a speaker, but she's quiet. So when she does talk, it's very well thought out, very educated, very smart. And he is without a doubt extremely smart. So if I did a quick if I did a quick look into his brain, I would, you know, you would see the processing power would be through the roof. So we use 1 or 2%. He uses like 20, 30%. So his brain is flashing. The thing is his brain is slowing down. So he has damage in there related to the age. Now his damage is lessened due to good foods, good, I would say a good diet maybe, but he still has pockets of damage. Everybody as they get older would show signs of degradation, pockets of damage, little dead areas in the brain. He is no exception. Um, he has he is showing signs of wear and tear. So his brain is slowing down. Very smart man, and it's going to take a long time for this very smart man to slow down like a muggle. The problem is he is slowing down, and he will be a muggle one day. It's just a very smart muggle. So, okay. Um, in my best guess, he's an individual with a group behind him, and I don't know if this is a Doctor Who fan. Oh no, that's friggin' awesome! A Doctor Who fan. What was the color of Doctor? I used to watch that, and that one doctor. There was one doctor I absolutely loved. The rest of the doctors were just too bizarre, but he was the most emotional. He looked like a friggin' Gumby. I can't remember his name. Doctor Who's scarf color was gray. Gosh, was it gray, and I can't remember. I think it was a gray and cream. I think it was striped, but it was a gray and cream if I remember right. Maybe it was just gray with long lines rather than the short horizontal lines. So that'd be interesting. El Salvador, Central African Republics are the only countries. No, there's one more. Oh, they treat it as a digital asset, not a currency. Gotcha. Yeah, that is the difference. Can you imagine sitting? So in the beginning, they sat around taking this coin and trying to figure out the best way to market it, and they literally had some great marketing ideas. If you take this coin, you can use it to buy things, right? You can use it to, you know, trade for things. Great concept. It was very imaginative in those days. I have the same grandeur with mine. I'd like to use my coin as a means of getting services rendered. Can't do it without the coin, which would make my coin value go up. Um, so it's for me because I want to do the same thing, but I don't have their skills. If I could just watch them from the beginning, which is cool because I can literally do that. I can watch this group think, and then one would peel away and go sit and his group talk would be blended and then formed into an idea which he'd take back to the group and they would kick it around and then uh, wash rinse repeat. The group would get together, their ideas would be, hammered out. They would individually go out and then think about it, organize a new thought, come back together, hash out new ideas. Everybody would go off and think about it. I mean, it's really a cool idea. God, I wish I could do that. uh, is he an individual? I think the guy that leads it, which is this guy right here, is. I think he is an individual, but he has a group behind him. So the name is probably representative of the group, but the group is represented by one guy. Does that make sense? So why hasn't he unloaded? Well, obviously, because if he unloads a large amount of Bitcoin, it would do terrible things to the value of the Bitcoin. Um, why isn't he letting himself known who he is? I mean, for obvious reasons, you wouldn't want to, because he does have a lot of coin worth so much money. You wouldn't want that out in the general public. So to me, it makes sense that he's staying hidden. To me, it makes sense that you put out a name like Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, if he's not Asian, that would throw everybody off. Because everybody, when you think of that name, you think of a small small, wizened, genius kind of guy like Albert Einstein, who is just, you know, a genius, who's a small Asian guy that can make computers cry. Um, and I don't think that's who this Satoshi Nakamoto is. I think it's all a ruse, and it's a very good one because my feeling is he's of Asian descent, not Asian, European descent, and he's extremely intelligent and he knows which way the wind blows. So it's better to cover your own ass than, you know, run around naked. All right. So Mr. Leary, if you're out there, Stockholm, Stockholm, Mr. Leary and Mr. in Stockholm. Stock. Where is Stockholm? Well, you know, if he's in Stockholm, I'm pretty sure that's a European country that's north of the 45th parallel, or very close to the 45th parallel. That would explain the. That would explain his scarf. That's Stockholm, Germany, isn't it? Where is Stockholm? Okay, so Mr. Leary. Mr. Leary. I don't even know what Leary is. Is Leary a German name? I don't know where the name Leary comes from. So, okay. Let me take a look. Stockholm. All right, so Mr. Leary in Stockholm. Sweden. Holy crap. Approximately 1 million people live in Stockholm. Okay. Well, Mr. Leary is there. So maybe, and maybe if somebody ever thought about it, there's only 1 million people in Stockholm or in Sweden, and I'm sure Stockholm is it 1 million people? Oh no, that's 1 million people in Stockholm. Hold on. Give me the population of Stockholm. Okay, so capital, approximately. Oh, okay, 1 million people in the municipality. So, if that's the case, Mr. Leary is very accessible. It's 1 million people in Stockholm, which I'm assuming where Mr. Leary is. And Mr. Leary is either A, the guy with the scarf, meeting somebody. I wonder what time it is there. So if it's 10 o'clock here, Sweden is. So it's midday there? Yeah, it's about midday. I think it's Sunday there. they are ahead of us. I'm pretty sure. And I think they're 10 hours ahead. I'll have to check. Anyways, time zone, UTC +1. Okay. So it's morning to early morning to creeping up on the afternoon. European Daylight Time. All right, so yeah, Mr. Lee is associated with Stockholm. This guy here is wearing a scarf, so I'm thinking the same thing are the two. I wonder if that's the name of this guy. Is Leary the name? Is this his company name? That'd be interesting to find out. But for whatever reason, Mr. Leary is a name that I pulled out of the air. Stockholm is a city that feels very comfortable to me. Um, it also feels like something related to Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, is he one of the players or is he the actual figurehead behind? I don't know. All right, 9:38. I got to get up to work tomorrow in 5 hours. I'm excited. All right, so if you can find Mr. Leary, let him know that I want just one coin is all I need. I'd be a happy camper. So I will catch you guys later. Thank you for dropping in and watching me talk about. You still can't see behind me. Oh, just camera cannot see what's behind me. Oh, it just says Mr. Leary Stockholm. Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you dropping in and watching. Maybe next time when we look at Satoshi Nakamoto, I can actually zero in on who this old guy that looks like a matchmaker or watchmaker and why he's doesn't feel real. He feels like an image and not a real person. So Satoshi Nakamoto feels like an image. We'll check it out next time when we further explore Bitcoin, the rise and fall of a very powerful coin.